Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 394th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. As you can see, this is fought on the Germanic Forest map. As you know, it's one of my favourite maps. You've got it's a flat map, but with big plains in that you can fight out in the open if you want, but also you've got the forest to bring some barbarian troops if you want for ambushes and to get the woods bonus. Unfortunately, my computer's been running slow a bit lately, so even to put a 3v3 on would look a bit laggy. So I'm just putting a 2v2 battle on today, but it's an exciting battle and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Legion 22, who has bought the Rome BROTHERHOOD faction. I think he's got 11 infantry units there, and I think he's just gold shield, gold attack, and he's got 3 archer units. So that's 11 infantry, 3 archer units there, and I think he's got from what I can see there 5 cavalry. Let's have a quick look at the upgrades of his cavalry, and he's got 7 upgrades. So he's got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry units there. You may well have a 6 cavalry unit hiding in the woods, but we'll see about that a little bit later. Okay, our other teammate, of course, is myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Rome SPQR faction, and this is another one of my old armies. It's 13 infantry and 5 cavalry. As a lot of you will know, I usually bring 12 infantry and 6 cavalry, but this is 13 infantry and 5 cavalry for this particular army. It should be a great battle for you to watch. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Bark, who has bought the Rome Julio faction. I think he's also got, I think he's got 10 infantry units there, or maybe 11 infantry units and 3 archers there, and he's got 6 cavalry. Let's have a quick look at the upgrades on his infantry. Okay, he's got some quite serious urban cohort infantry here. He's got 7 upgrades, so he's got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Now I think he's got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack on all of his infantry units except his pilot shield unit. Yeah. So I think all his infantry have got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack on. So say he's got some quite serious infantry there, because that experienced stripe really makes a difference there with your infantry and how long they fight. Yeah, say he's got 11 infantry units there, 10 with a stripe on, and his pilot shield unit just gold shield, gold attack. Unless he's got 6 cavalry. Let's have a look at the upgrades. Yeah, he's just got gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So as you can see, he spent most of his money on his elite infantry. Now that may well be a battle-winning decision there. We'll just have to wait and see. And I see his next teammate is IOW Srax. A lot of you will know Srax, a very good player. As you can see, he's bought the Rome Scipio faction. But if you look closer, can you see he's actually bought Praetorian cohorts? And he's got 14 Praetorian cohorts. Now these Praetorian cohorts are just below urban cohorts. Okay, for instance, their attack is 12, where urban cohorts are 14. Their defense is 23, where urban cohorts are 24, and also these have just got 81 men in each unit, where the urban cohorts have got 82 men in each unit. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is an experimental army, or whether Srax feels extremely confident to bring Praetorians to the battlefield here, but my guess is it's just an experimental army there. I see he's got 6 cavalry. Let's have a look at the upgrades on his cavalry. Yeah, he's just got gold shield, gold attack on those cavalry units there. Yeah, so he's just got gold shield, gold attack, and 6 of those. So he's got 14 Praetorian cohorts and 6 cavalry. He's got mixed upgrades on his cavalry. So he's got 1 unit, I think, with just gold shield, gold attack. The rest of his cavalry have got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack there. I think the Praetorian infantry are 50 denarii cheaper than urban cohorts. So there's the other team. Should be a great one to watch. Okay, at this stage of the battle, Legion 22's archers and Bark's archers, I think, are going to close for some archer action there. As you can see, they're actually shooting at each other now. I say Bark bought 3 archers, and so did Legion bring 3 archers as well. So as I say, in most battles, when you bring archers, there's usually a bit of an archer battle, usually at the beginning possibly. And as you can see here, both Legion and Bark there, archers are exchanging some arrows there. I say these auxiliary archers have got long range and can do a lot of damage, and they're, you know, when you bring them to the modern day battlefield, they can be very useful. You might notice here that SRAX's units are all tight. Can you see? They're not spread out like most infantry units. They're all quite tight. And if you notice there, he's moving a couple of cavalry units over there. Now, my guess is newer players to Rome Total War. Why do you think he's doing that? Of course, he's looking to target our Brutii allies' archers there. Okay. Notice he's got his cavalry in ordinary formation, which makes them move faster than in wedge formation. And as you can see there, he's targeting our allies' Brutii archers there. As he's moving that cavalry in there. He's just moving them up there, and now he's probably going to charge them in there to hit those archers, and you can see them moving in. Legion's trying to move them back fast, but I think that unit's going to get hit. Nope, he just managed to run out of range of those enemy Scipii cavalry there, which would have probably been piloted if they'd have got any closer. So that was a nice aggressive move there by SRAX with his cavalry there, trying to take out our allies archers. As I said, you can see his infantry here. He's putting them into testudo. He's using the hotkeys. Now, a lot of you might not know what the hotkeys are, but I've forgotten actually about them. I haven't used them for years, but if you kind of click on all your units and press a hotkey, they'll go into testudo or come out of testudo altogether very quickly. They're called the hotkeys. Let's say I haven't seen them used for years. I haven't used them for years, but they can be very effective if used correctly. You can see the one of Legion's archer units there has been decimated, but he's still shooting at... I think he might be actually targeting a Scipii cavalry unit there at this time. Yeah, he's reduced that unit down to 50 possibly there with that archer unit. But as I say, the enemy Julii archers will probably finish that unit off, or it might even get hit by that cavalry. See, that cavalry unit now is in open order. He's going to hit that archer unit and bang, as he smashes into that archer unit. I was expecting that archer unit to rout, so it did really well to hold there against that hit from... oh, he's just broken now from that cavalry unit. As you can see here, SRAX is moving his infantry forward there in that tight, close formation. And he's now going into testudo again there, making good use of the hotkeys. As I say, those of you who might not have seen the hotkeys before, if you look at RTW, you will find about them. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, you can see the last of Legion's 2 archer units there are now actually being decimated. Can you see that unit just glowed? That unit has just got a battlefield promotion. Any unit on RTW that does very well will get a battlefield promotion, so that unit has now got a stripe on it. But as you can see, the Julii archers are outnumbering the Brutii archers now, so the Brutii archers will soon be taken out. Over here on our left flank here, you can see the way that SRAX has moved that cavalry and his infantry there. It wouldn't surprise me if he tried a left flanking action here. Okay, say looking at the position of his cavalry and the way he's moved his infantry, as I say, it wouldn't surprise me if he did a left flanking action. And there you can see he's moving his cavalry round to the left and his infantry round to the left as well there. Nice aggressive flanking action there by SRAX. Let's say, do you notice how his units stay so closely packed tight together? If you look at everybody else's infantry units, you can see our infantry units look quite spread out in comparison to his. Right, you can see that Scipii cavalry looking to hit my infantry when they're on the move. If you notice, I've moved my cavalry forward, so my guess is that the Scipii cavalry will pull back there. You see, they were looking to hit my infantry when they were on the move, but I moved my cavalry forward to support my infantry, and the Scipii cavalry has now pulled back. Let's say, nice aggressive left flanking action there by the Scipii general. Let's say he's continuing this left flanking action here. If you notice, I'm moving back to face the threat. As I say, his infantry units always seem to be quite tight and packed in comparison to the rest. If you notice, the rest of our infantry units of both his allies and ours as well always seem to be a little bit more spread out than his tightly packed infantry units there. Okay, over here on the right flank, you can see here that Barks well upgraded infantry there may well look to do a right flanking action here, possibly. But it all seems we're just kind of taking stock of each other at this time, I think, just to see what's going to happen here. As I say, SRAX may well carry on doing this left flanking action. He may well bring his infantry round here to the left. And my guess is here, can you see Bark is moving his archers out to our right flank here? Now, why do you think he's doing that? Newer players to Rome Total War, why do you think he's doing that? Okay, because as we know, the flank and rear of units on RTW are the weakest parts of a unit. So if you notice here, he's moved his archers out there to target the flank of Legion's infantry there, where he'll he'll probably get some kills. Right, you can see S-Rax ran forward with his infantry there, using his hotkeys again. Probably going to go into Testudo there. Here you go. See, he's going into Testudo. If you notice, I threw some of my pilers in there before it actually went into Testudo. I will now stop, put the pilers on halt now, because I don't want to waste pilers on a Testudo unit. Right, can you see he's now come out of Testudo very quickly, enabling him to throw his pilers straight into my my piler shield units there. But once again, can you see how his units are staying so tight, close together there, in comparison to everybody else's units on the battlefield there. And of course, if you've got really close, tight units there, they're also less susceptible to cavalry damage, because the tighter packed those infantry are, the more they're likely to repulse a cavalry attack there. But as you can see there, he's using his hotkeys on that unit there to form Testudo, come out of Testudo, throw his pilers back into Testudo. So as I say, the hotkeys are something that maybe newer players to Rome Total War might like to have a look at. Okay, can you see he's moving his infantry forward there? Now, it wouldn't surprise me, as soon as he got forward there, if he goes straight into Testudo. See how those units again? So he's used a hotkey again to be able to use put his units into Testudo at just a press of a button there if he wants to. But if you notice there, as I say, his infantry are all pretty tight there. And of course, throwing pilers there from tightly packed infantry, I think they've got more impact and possibly can do more damage there. Throwing more pilers into my piler shield units. And I see he's got some cavalry. He's moved his cavalry forward there, possibly with the intention of smashing into my my forward units there. But I've got my cavalry just behind my infantry, ready to counter any attack like that. So say, notice keeping that one unit in front of his battle line there of Testudo, knowing that I'm not going to waste pilers on a Testudo unit there. It's a nice little move. Meanwhile, as I said before, can you see that Bark here tactically moved his archers round there and now targeting the flank of Legion's infantry. If you notice that one unit there, he's been reduced to 71 men there, and Legion's turned it to face the archer threat. Let's pause the game for a second. So as you can see here, that one unit there, which is targeted by the archers, it's been reduced down to 71 men. So he's actually turned that unit to face the threat of the archers, because head on, obviously the archers won't do that much damage. So they'll probably start targeting the flank of his piler shield unit there. We see you've got 6 cavalry units out there ready to charge into the flank of Legion if they want to. And as I say, over here on the left flank, you can see the Scipio generals being quite aggressive as well. I say this got the ingredients to be a great battle, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, you can still see there's pilers being thrown into my infantry there. As I say, this is a great example of how you can use the hotkeys on RTW to make all your units respond quite quickly at the same time. Say as he's running units forward here, once again he's still got that unit in Testudo in front of his main battle line there. So if I just put my units on auto fire, they'll just throw pilers into that Testudo unit, not causing it hardly any casualties at all. So that's a nice move there, newer players to Rome Total War. As you can see here now, he's throwing his pilers into my my forward battle line there. Nice tactical move. I see even the enemy Giulio generals bringing units across here to attack my my army. So there's a lot of pilots going into my my army at the moment. There you can see S-Rax has just attacked with those Scipio units there, but decided to pull back there. Okay, so my forward piler shield units have been damaged quite considerably by the piler hits that have gone into them, but the main army is still pretty well intact. You notice here that Legion has turned 2 of his units. He's got a unit in Testudo at the front of his battle line, and he's turned 2 of his units to face the archer threat there. If you notice here, he's charging his Brutio unit into that that Giulio unit there. I've got a feeling once the battle kicks off, it may well kick off over here on the right flank, as it looks like it's doing now. Can you see how they're both starting to throw more units in? Pilers being thrown there on the right flank. Now remember, Bark's infantry's got an experience stripe on. Okay, now that may well make the difference, especially towards the end of the battle. That experience stripe can really make a difference there. As you can see here, the enemy Scipio troops are moving forward. to engage possibly my forward units there. Once again, can you see how all the units are going into Testudo all at once there? As I say, it's a great example of how you can use the hotkeys on RTW. Okay, you can see this, some Scipii cavalry charging in, and bang, as they smash into Legion's engaged Brutii troops there. I see Legion's put some of his rear units on auto fire there, so those Scipii cavalry units will be suffering some pilot damage there once they withdraw. And also he'll be throwing some pilots into that Julii infantry as well there. Okay, as I said, I thought the battle might kick off on that right flank over there, and it looks like that may be what's happening. Right, can you see my ally charging his Brutii cavalry in there? Looking to engage those Julii cavalry that just attacked his forward units, and see that Brutii cavalry going in and bang, as that cavalry smashes into those engaged enemy Julii units there. Okay, can you see there's some enemy Scipii cavalry counter-attacking, as well as some Julii infantry being thrown in as well there. Okay, I notice a lot of the enemy cavalry are over on this right flank here, so if you notice, I've moved my SBQR cavalry over to that right flank to support if necessary. Those Julii cavalry look to me like they're locked and loaded, ready to charge in at any time. Okay, you can see the Scipii general now is doing a concerted attack on my forward pilot shield units there. So if you notice, I'm going to send a couple of my other units there forward to support the pilot shield unit, while still keeping one pilot shield unit in front of my main battle line to soak up any pilots that come over the engaged troops. Okay, so I've kept one pilot shield unit back in front of my main battle line there, so any pilots that are thrown over the engaged troops will go into them rather than my main battle line there. Okay, let's say there's a real scrap going on here on the left flank there, with SRAX attacking my forward units there. Okay, but you can see it's a numbers game there at this particular time, and it wouldn't surprise me if my unit starts to rout at any time there. But as I say, I've got my pilot shield unit in front of my main battle line there to soak up any pilots that might well come in. Okay, can you see my ally Legion there is Brutii cavalry looking to hit those engaged Scipii troops there, as his cavalry run through my infantry and bang, as they smash into those engaged enemy Scipii troops there. Nice hit there by Legion. Right, you can see that the enemy Scipii general there is counter-attacking with his cavalry, but have you noticed the danger on the battlefield for us on the right flank? I bet you have. Can you see that Julii cavalry in wedge formation there, going to charge into Legion's infantry? Now, Legion looked at this, and he could see the danger there, so he's turned 3 units to face the threat of those Julii cavalry charging in there. Okay, so that's a nice tactical move there by Legion. Used his cavalry to help me out on the left, while he turned his infantry to face the threat of that cavalry. There's another Scipii cavalry unit that's going to charge in at any time. Okay, you can see I'm charging my SBQR cavalry forward as well to engage the engaged Scipii troops here. You can see my SBQR cavalry charging out. Bang, as they charge in. But notice on the right flank, unless I draw your attention to the right flank, can you see the enemy Julii cavalry have smashed into Legion's Brutii infantry? Right, you can see a Scipii cavalry unit is just charged in here into the flank of my engaged cavalry. Okay, so here you can see there's a lot of action going on this left flank, but over on the right flank, as I say, that's 6 units of cavalry and wedge formation. 4 cavalry charge bonus just smashed in to Legion's Brutii infantry. His infantry have done well to hold that threat. As I say, he faced those 3 units to face that, so he's done really well there. But here on the left flank, you can see my army is under a lot of pressure here from Scipii troops. As I say, I'm going to pull my cavalry back now. I've got the 4 cavalry charge bonus. I'm going to pull them back. I'm going to lock and load them and get ready for pull the trigger to send them in again when I feel the time is right. But as I say, my Brutii ally Legion there on the right flank has had a massive repulsed a massive cavalry attack there, so he did well, but my guess is he suffered a lot of casualties in that attack. Okay, you can see a lot of the enemy Julii infantry have been sent over to help his SBQ charge over to help his Scipii ally there attacking my SBQR troops. Okay, so not only have I got all the Scipii infantry, I've got 4 Julii infantry over on me as well. Right, see the Julii cavalry charging up. Bang, as they charge in there straight into Legion, hitting Legion's infantry yet again, causing massive casualties. Right, if you notice here, both Legion and myself are counter-attacking with our cavalry. Legion's cavalry going first and bang, and then my SBQR cavalry goes in and bang. But have you spotted the danger on the battlefield apart from what we're looking at here? Okay, apart from this big cavalry and infantry here, can you look what's happening to my army? You might not be able to see that, but can you see A lot of Scipii cavalry are charging into my forward units here, smashing into my forward units. And the Scipii general is moving infantry around the flank of my infantry as well there. So my infantry is under a lot of pressure by a flanking attack plus a smash of cavalry in the forward units there. But meanwhile, myself and Legion here are counter-attacking with our cavalry, trying to rout as many of those Julii cavalry as we can. Okay, the battle may well be won here on the right flank if we can rout those Julii cavalry and rout those infantry if we can there. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second. So as you can see here, I've got all my SBQR cavalry over here with Legion's cavalry and Legion infantry. They're facing the Julii threat. But meanwhile, over here on the left flank, my infantry, it looks like it's being engulfed by enemy blue Scipii troops and enemy Julii troops as well. Plus the Scipii cavalry is charged into me as well. Plus I got a left flank and actually going on against my infantry here. I've turned the unit. I'm just going to turn that unit there to face the threat coming in from the left flank. As you can see there, just turning them there to face that threat coming in from the left flank. But as you can see, my infantry is under a lot of pressure, but maybe Legion and myself are thinking if we can win over on this right flank, this could be the key to the battle. See that enemy Scipii cavalry charging in, and bang, as he charged in there supporting his Julii ally. Okay, so Legion's doing extremely well there, along with my SBQR cavalry. Okay, that's bad news for our team. Legion's general has just been taken out. Okay, and look at all that enemy Julii and SBQR cavalry and Julii infantry and cavalry charging there. But with Legion's general just been taken out, of course his troops are going to take a morale drop now because of that. Okay, so as I say, on the right flank here, remember Legion, my ally, is green Brutii. I'm purple SBQR, or up against the red and the blue. Okay, meanwhile over on the left flank here, you can see my infantry here is up against all the Scipii infantry and 4 units of Julii infantry there. I noticed Legion sent a couple of his Brutii units over to support. Great supporting work there. But as you can say, on both of the flanks here, the battle could be won on either flank now, I think. So as I say, we've got all our cavalry, both my Brutii and all my SBQR cavalry here are on the right flank. Now normally I would have pulled my cavalry back by now, lock and load, ready to charge in, but as you can see, that's what I'm doing. I'm pulling my cavalry back, but I haven't got a lot of cavalry left. If you notice, they're extremely battle damaged now, but I'm still going to lock and load them and get ready to pull the trigger in. I'd like to take out that Julii general if I can, but as I said, remember that Julii infantry have got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Right, okay, Legion's general unit, as you can see, the general was killed, the general unit has just been routed. Okay, so our right flank now is looking after a fierce battle like it might be broken. Okay, so after a fierce battle, our right flank looks like it may well be broken here, as you can see. I'm charging my cavalry over there, trying to relieve the pressure that my infantry's been under from all that Scipii infantry, Scipii cavalry and Julii infantry there. So if I can just get over there, as you can see, my infantry is still holding quite well. Remember, I'm the purple SBQR and my ally is the green Brutii. The enemy are the blue and the red. Okay, so just at a glance there, you can see exactly what's happening. Let's say I'm charging my cavalry over there, hoping to smash into the rear of those engaged enemy troops and maybe causing some of them to rout. There's my cavalry going in, and bang, and it smashes into those engaged troops there. Straight away routing several Scipii and Julii units there. So that was a good little cavalry hit there, if I say so myself. Meanwhile, over here on the right flank, as I say, our right flank's looking in danger of being broken here after a really fierce fight. Legion's been doing extremely well there, holding as long as he has there. Right, let's just pause the game for a second, take stock of exactly what's going on. See that Scipii cavalry unit charging into the flank of one of my infantry units there? Let's say it got a lot of pressure on my infantry. I've pulled back my battle damaged cavalry there, ready to charge in when I can. They're extremely battle damaged there, so what damage they can do, we just have to wait and see. But meanwhile, over here on our right flank, as I say, remember my teammate is Legion 22 with the Brutii. The enemy are the red Julii and the blue Scipii. Okay, so our right flank, as I say, is in danger of falling. Right, can you see I'm charging my battle damage SBQR cavalry charging, and bang, and it smashes into the rear of those engaged enemy troops, but not enough of them really to do a lot of damage. Look, you see, they just didn't have the momentum or the numbers to do the damage that I would have liked to have done there. So now I'm going to pull them back out again. As I say, lock and load them, get ready to pull the trigger to charge them in again. Okay, but as I said here, we're doing quite well, holding quite well here. As I said, I'm pulling my cavalry back, they're ready to charge in. I've got some more enemy Julio troops coming across, attacking the flank of my units there. Okay, if you notice, I'm charging my cavalry back in again. There they go. As you see, extremely battle damaged cavalry, but they're going to go in again and bang as they smash into those engaged enemy troops there. Once again, trying to get a full cavalry charge bonus of what cavalry I've got left. Managed to rout an enemy Julio unit and an enemy Scipio unit there. So I'm pleased with those battle damaged cavalry, what they've done there. As you can see, there's more enemy Julio troops coming across here. But as I say, you can see Legion's green Brutio troops are over here helping me as well. So we're not doing too badly here on this left flank. Now what I'm thinking I'm going to do here, I'm probably during the course of this battle I'm going to turn defense into attack. If you notice, I've been defensive here against the enemy attack, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to start being going to turn defense into attack. You can see I'm taking that infantry unit around the flank there. I'm probably going to stop that unit and look to try and charge in to that enemy Scipio general. See, I'm charging to the rear of that enemy Scipio general with my battle damaged cavalry, and bang as they charge in there, trying to take out that Scipio general. But as I say, my battle damaged cavalry are down to, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 men in each one there, and they've been routed there. Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. Okay, so you can, as I say, you can still see the Scipio general still alive there. I'm looking to charge one of my SBQR units in. Okay, I've turned defense into attack now. I'm starting to attack with my infantry there after defending for so long. On our right flank there, we're doing quite well. The Julio general is still alive, giving morale obviously to the enemy troops, and the Scipio general is still alive, giving morale to the enemy troops as well. Right, if you notice, I'm charging my SBQR unit. They're going for that Scipio general. I want to take out that Scipio general. See how I'm aggressively attacking with my SBQR troops here now. Okay, they've stood in defense long enough. It's now time to turn that into attack. Okay, we've routed the Scipio general. That's good news for us, lowering the morale of all the Scipio troops in that area. Okay, there's still a couple of Scipio units left there maybe, and a couple of Julio units left. But this battle's going to go right down to the wire, I think, at this stage here. What I'd like to do now is try and take out that Julio general if I can. And if we can do that, that'd be pretty good for us. You can see it's very, very close. You see it's going right down to the wire here. I think it wouldn't surprise me if the upgrades on Bark's army there has caused a heck of a lot of damage to our troops. It'd be interesting to see. Okay, we've just routed the Julio general. Just like to draw your attention to this part of the battlefield here. Can you see it's like 2 distinct battles? This one part of the battle here on our right flank, you can see how intense it was by the piles of dead. Now remember, this is only a 2v2, but look at the piles of dead there. You can see the intensity here on the right flank. Well, you saw the action here, so you know how intense it was here on the right flank. Piles of enemy dead, and there's like a little gap between that right flank, and we move over to the left flank. Once again, intense fighting here on the left flank. As I say, it was almost like 2 distinct battles there, with units being shared from one side to the other. Just looking at the piles of dead there. So it just goes to show how, as I say, intense and tough this battle was, going right down to the wire there. But it looks like our team has managed to go on to win the battle there. But as I say, Bark, the upgrades on Bark's troops, it'd be interesting to see his kills. There we are. We just killed the general there. But remember, as I say, Bark had an experience stripe on every one of his infantry except his Pilot Shield unit, and that really can make a difference. Okay, let's just have a look. As you see, we guessed it would be a close victory. Let's say, look at Bark's kills there. Okay, Bark's kills 1,395, the highest kills in the game. And that just goes to show, see, that's quality maybe over quantity. We've talked about this before, having experience stripe, pretty good. I say Esrax probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but as I say, it's probably an experimental army. And Legion and myself, kills not too bad. As we said, we thought it would be a close victory, but I just thought that was an interesting 2v2 battle for you to watch, especially with those Praetorians instead of urban cohort infantry involved there, and also the use of the hotkeys. The Spartan Commander said, hope you enjoyed this 2v2. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.